So we're going to start with riding the storm out. And you're going to talk to Dalwyneth. Right here in front of us, Dalwyneth, Envoy of Arganessen. And we're just going to do the raid on normal. When we do legendary endgame raids, we typically just do them on lower difficulties. And this is one that I'm not entirely comfortable stepping up the difficulty for a teaching raid, because like I said, this one can be really, really overbearing and overwhelming. But hopefully, if you have your electrical absorption and you make sure you keep getting rid of your stacks of vulnerability, won't be too bad. Plus, people have way more hit points today than we did years ago when this raid came out. I don't see anybody with low hit points, but if you were to come in here with like less than 1,000 hit points, you'd have a really bad day. This is not a raid that you want to bring a level 27 with 700 hit points to, because you're just going to be a soul stone the whole time. Alright, we are all in. We can go ahead and get some buffs. So there's going to be a lot of Simon Says puzzles, the ones where you have to, there's like a grid of 3x3 lights that, flash in a pattern, and you got to repeat the pattern, and then it's 3 lights, then it's 4, then it's 5. And I can't remember if they were new for this raid, but if they weren't newly introduced with this raid, they were relatively new to the game when this came out. And there's just a ton of, there's like, probably 20 of those in this raid. So it's really important that we have people that are willing to do puzzles. If people aren't willing to do puzzles, then this raid's just going to take even longer. So if you want to step right up to the center here, by the way, this is like, the staging area. And at any point in the raid, you can detour back, and this is always a safe room. Nothing can bother you here. And you really do have all the time in the world. There's no sense of urgency with this raid. Although if you're in the end fight, the boss will regenerate. So if the end fight started going sideways and you had to grab soul stones and detour, she might be healed back to full by the time you get back to her. But sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So if you look at the left and right, you'll see Simon Says puzzles on each side. There's lots of pairs of puzzles in this raid, and those pairs have to be done within about a minute of each other. Otherwise, they'll just reset and you got to start over. So if I'd love for the signups to do these starting puzzles. The raid won't open and lock until the puzzles are done. So if you're feeling so inclined, go ahead and do these starting puzzles. Thank you, Dawn's Really Light and Anadir. There's going to be a lot more of these puzzles later in the raid. So if you like doing puzzles, there'll be opportunity for you to do them. So I'm just going to look over on Anadir's shoulder here, and just in case anybody watching is new, Anti-Chat, good morning and welcome. Just in case anybody's new to this kind of puzzle, like you pull the lever, 3 lights flash, and you got to repeat them, like Simon Says, or like, like the Simon game or whatever, and then it'll flash 4 lights and you have to repeat them, then 5 and you have to repeat them, then it's done. Okay, good job, guys. So now the raid opens. You can see there's like a green shimmery curtain in front of us. You're just going to click on that to go into the rest of the raid. And like I said, you want to have your electrical absorption equipped now. And, oh, I already have the boots that has electrical absorption 37% on it, so I don't need to equip special gear. Skylot, good morning and welcome to you. Skylot is Belina in group. It's my guildie. And she's been healing our teaching raids this year. Really appreciate you doing that. Alright, so our tank is going to step forward and bring mobs back. And then there's going to be... He's going to isolate the king. There's a red name. We're going to fight some giant skeletons, and he's going to isolate the king while we beat everything else down. These skeletons, if they're near each other, their electrical strikes are going to like heal each other. So you want to get the king away from everybody else. And so we're going to work on everything else. And then the king's going to be last. Okay, I've got the skeletons in an earthquake, so go ahead and pull the king away. Work on the orange named skeletons, guys. And then the yellow names at the door, and then now the king is the last one. Go ahead and beat on the king. Yes, Anti-Chap, that is great advice. And we'll be talking about that here in a minute once we get to the next set of puzzles. Those lightning strikes don't start yet.
In this raid, just for curiosity's sake.
Ooh, you're a little soft hand-like feet. What did you say?
I'm sorry, how are summons handled in this raid for, like, tar, spawns or summon creatures?
I think they're okay, although during the end fight they might be problematic because they could get aggro of stuff down here that you might not want to grab. There's a couple collectibles underneath the main...
difficulty. One possible difficulty with summons is the runes to clear the stacks.
Oh yeah, if the summon's on it, they might block other people. Is that what you're thinking?
I don't know how that's affected in here.
Yeah, good point. All right, guys, we got 3 more pairs of... Oh, go ahead.
Did you want to know while we're all standing here the under shelter feature that was in here?
Oh yeah, so once the lightning strikes start, when you're under something like this, you'll have under shelter or something like that in your buff bar, and it'll make you so that you won't get struck by lightning. So you can see there should be like a purple sneaky looking icon in your buff bar right now. It says under shelter. It says if you can't see the sky, it can't see you, so you won't get struck by lightning when you're under. Most of this raid is out in the open, but there are some places where you can get under shelter. All right, if you look to the sides and straight ahead, you'll see there's a puzzle, and there's like a platform. There's a puzzle on each side of it, and each pair has to be done within a minute of itself. So go do some puzzles, guys. You can't mess them up. If you mess them up, it just starts over. You can't do like anything to permanently mess it up. And there's going to be some trash mobs that spawn, so if you're not working on puzzles, please kill trash. And once the puzzle pair is done, you see how there's like a swirly light blue runes over the puzzles. Once both puzzles are done, there'll be a larger ring of yellow runes swirling above the puzzles. So we need as many people as possible working on these puzzles right now. And once all 3 pairs of these puzzles are done, then it will open up the first dragon fight. Now, once the lightning strikes start, which they haven't started yet, when you're doing puzzles, the lightning can blind you because it's just going to strike you and it's going to be right in front of you, blocking your view of the puzzle. And so one thing you can do to deal with that is when you do the puzzles, get used to standing off to the side and even maybe having your camera at a little bit of an angle, so that when the lightning strikes you, it's not blocking your view of the puzzle. Stand off to the side and with your camera skewed a little bit so that the lightning strike doesn't block your view of the puzzle. Okay, you can see there's yellow runes swirling above the western puzzles, so that means that one's done. And above the eastern puzzles, so those are done, but the north puzzles still need to be done. Looks like we got folks working on that. Thank you, Anna dear. Once these 3 puzzles are done, we're going to ride air jets up to the platform in the center. You can look, you'll see there's a storm thing surrounding Korkaza, the blue dragon, if you look up at the center platform. And we're going to have to beat her down a little bit. Okay, the air jets have appeared. If you don't go up by walking into it, then just jump. Also notice that we have wind blowing to the south. That's going to be for most of the raid, so you need to like compensate for that. So you need to like push against the wind. So there can be parts of this raid too that are like you don't want to jump too much because you can get blown into areas that are you don't want to get into. Like there are ravines and things that are kind of,
My tank got knocked off.
No problem. Kind of a roundabout way to get out. It's not an easy to get out. And then as you're getting out of these, crevices or whatever, trenches, you end up aggroing a bunch of other mobs. So try hard not to get blown down into those areas. So our tank is falling down. So we're gonna have some.
All right, back up.
Thank you. We're gonna have some air elemental trash mobs. Go ahead and beat those down. And on higher difficulties, there is a red name air elemental, which you can beat down or just ignore. All right, we already beat the dragon down. That was pretty quick. Great job. Now we're going to jump down and go to the east. And this is the part where the constant lightning strikes start happening. And you're going to have a debuff in your buff bar That's going to tell you how many stacks of vulnerability. It can count up to 20. I would advise you not to let it get, you know, past about 10, because, you know, it starts getting really painful. Right there, we're getting struck by lightning. You just walk over these runes. There's these runes all over the raid, and you just walk over the runes to clear your stacks. If somebody's already standing on the rune, you can't clear it, so do not linger on the runes. Just walk over it and it'll clear your stack. Don't hesitate to step away from a fight to clear your stacks, because it's really, really important. If it gets close to 20, you know, you're probably going to be dead the next time you get struck by lightning, because that starts to get really, really painful as those stacks of vulnerabilities get higher and higher. Again, they can stack up to as high as 20. Now, there are certain runes that you do need to stand on. You'll see that Soul Mind is standing on a rune at the base of a pillar. We're getting a little bit spread out, guys. I want you to be on these walkways. Where I'm jumping up and down right now. I want you to be over here right now. Great.
To the south.
So Soul Mind is standing on a rune pillar rune at the base of it, and those are those rune pillars. You got to stand on the base and get struck by lightning 3 times to light up the 3 runes, and that's what opens up the gate to access the puzzle. So if you look to the east, you'll see there's a puzzle that's now open, so we need somebody to do that. Somebody can go to the east and do that puzzle. Don't forget to walk over runes on the floor to clear your stacks. You have to constantly walk over those runes to clear your stacks. But you should never stand on them except for the rune pillar ones, and only until you get struck by lightning 3 times and light up the 3 runes. That's what opens up the
And
gate.
just a quick note on the 3 times thing. It doesn't have to be the same person getting struck 3 times. One person can get struck once, and somebody else can stand on and get struck twice, and it'll count as 3 times for that rune pillar.
Yep, and you can tell how many times people have been struck on it by looking at the runes on the pillar. They will light up. There are 3 runes. So Bolo Grub's doing this first puzzle, thank you. And we've got some folks doing the other one. Remember, stand to the side, because if you're looking right at the puzzle, you get struck by lightning, it blinds you. It blocks your view of the puzzle. So stand off just to the side.
I have to go clear, sorry.
It's okay. That's one of the complications. That's what these teaching raids are for, so that you can learn these things now. Also notice that we're above like a, you know, we're on a raised platform, and if you fall down, I want you guys to come back. I don't want to advance yet, because we haven't finished these puzzles yet. And I want to show you that if you fall down, how to get out. Because it's just little areas like this, when you're new, and you fall down to them, people panic and they don't know where to go. So just go ahead and jump down, guys. Just go ahead and jump down where I am. So I don't want you to join a pug of this and fall down here and not know what to do, okay? There's runes here so you can clear your stacks. And we're just going to go to the northwest area down here, and there's a ramp that goes up. This is how you get out. No big deal if you fall. Make sure you're clearing your stacks constantly. If you're doing a puzzle and for any reason you're unable to complete it, make sure you call it out. Looks like that one's done. Good job, guys. Now we can start heading north. I do want us to stick together. This rune pillar's lit. That opened up the gate. Anadir's doing that puzzle. Thank you. Everybody else can start heading north. I should have put on my wings and bloody footprints so it'd be easier to spot. Okay, we have another rune pillar here that somebody needs to stand on. Soul Mind is standing on it. When you're standing on a rune, the lightning strikes won't hurt you. But again, when you're standing on a rune, nobody else can use it to clear their stacks. But there's another rune right over here. So notice he's getting struck by lightning. That lights up the runes on the rune pillar. And then once all 3 runes are lit, the gate opens to the puzzle. So we're going to need somebody to do this puzzle once the gate opens. Looks like Arcania is going to do that. Great. The rest of us can head north. Make sure you run over runes to clear your stacks. Super, super important. Notice that nobody's died yet. In an unorganized pug, you'd have had a dozen deaths already, because people don't know to clear their stacks. And they don't know to bring electrical absorption, etc., etc.
the pattern to lightning storm is always the same every 60 seconds. It starts slowly and then intensifies.
Yes, so we're going to get occasionally struck by lightning, and when you have mobs aggros, that causes lightning strikes too. If you look in your buff bar, you'll see that there's a green buff that says Eye of the Storm. It looks like the druid icon for the spell Storm of Vengeance. It starts at 60 seconds, and it's going to count down to 0. When it gets close to 0, we're going to get struck by lightning like 6 or 8 times in rapid succession, once every second. If your stacks are not low at that point, those rapid lightning strikes are probably going to kill you. So it's just super, super important that you're constantly clearing your stacks. Wooter, thanks for doing that puzzle. The rest of us can go over the bridge to the north. Somebody has to jump down and clear this. Let's just everybody go down. I want everybody to go down into this ravine so that you'll know how to get out.
Wooter's not doing anything.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
I got her.
Thank you, Bolo. So soul mines, you know, normally if you're doing this raid normally, just one person would need to come down and light this. But I wanted us all to come down because, you know, sooner or later when you're doing this raid, you're going to fall in here, and I want you guys to see how to get out. But we'll go out together once soul mine lights all this stuff. Please don't leave the trench yet. Just hang out here. All right, it's lit. That opened up another one of the puzzle gates. Clear your stacks by running over runes. There's a stuck spot up here. I'm just going to point it out so you don't get stuck like I've been stuck. And that's behind this crystal here that I'm jumping at. If you try to, like I tried to get up here and try to jump out of it, but there's actually a stuck spot right behind this crystal, so don't try to get over there.
Thank you.
The trash is never ending in here. But we should kill it, you know, when we encounter it, because like I said, if trash is aggroed on you, it will cause lightning strikes. This is the rapid lightning strikes when that buff counts down to 0. As you can see.
Somebody got Dawnstone.
I got him.
Thank you. As you can see, it gets pretty intense. Go ahead and go across the bridge to the north. So if you can open up the map, by the way, and you can see the whole map. There's the central arena and then just a bunch of ruins around the outside. We started in the southeast corner, and we're just basically going counterclockwise to do all these puzzles. So we need somebody on this puzzle here. Thank you, Hand Like Feet. The rest of us can head to... well, I want to show you where the shrine is. So follow me to the shrine, please. This is the only shrine in the raid. And you do have your undercover here. There is a ceiling, so this is one of the spots that you can stay and avoid being struck by lightning. We're going to come back and use this shrine later before the end fight, but I just wanted to show you where it is. It's accessible anytime after the first dragon fight. Clear your stacks by running over runes, and we're heading to North Central now. Here, you're going to need to jump over the wall in the back. If you have a decent jump, you can just grab the ledge. And there's a bunch of trash mobs on top of the wall. Let's go ahead and take these out. There's also rune pillars on each side of the wall that somebody will need to stand at the base. And you get struck by lightning 3 times. That's a great job for somebody who's kind of squishy, because when you're standing on the runes, the lightning doesn't hurt you. And we'll need somebody to do that puzzle there that just opened up. Dawn's Early Light has it. The rest of us can go on the other side of the wall. Bolo Grub's standing on that rune pillar. We need somebody to do this puzzle. Thank you, Anadir. The rest of us can start heading to the northwest corner. Okay, here's another rune pillar. It needs to be lit up. That's going to open up the gate at the bottom of this ramp. There's going to be an air jet on the other side of the gate that you're going to be able to ride up. And there's an area up there that's going to have a few trash mobs and a couple more puzzles. So everybody down the ramp, wait for the gate to open, clear your stacks if needed. Ride the air jet will toggle, so if it turns off on you, just wait for it to turn back on. Okay, go ahead and go in and jump into the air jet, ride it up, clear the trash out. There are runes up here to clear your stacks.
Alright, I got lost in
Hakog,
this puzzle.
good morning and welcome.
Yeah, I'm Ginger.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we need folks to do these two puzzles. Let's just go ahead and wait here for these puzzles to get done. We've got all the time in the world. We got runes to clear our stacks. Let's just hang out here until people do these puzzles so that we're all together. Normally, you would just leave the people here doing the puzzles. But, you know, since this is a teaching raid, we'll just all stay together.
Which also, while you're doing the Simon Says puzzles, if you get struck by lightning while you're doing it, make sure it can't interrupt you activating the runes and mess up the Simon Says if you don't realize it.
Yep, it can interrupt your animation of doing it. Remember, the lightning blinds your view of the puzzle, so it's best to stand to the side of the puzzle, even with your camera angle a little bit off, so that the lightning doesn't interfere with your view of the puzzle. Plenty of runes to clear your stacks. If somebody else wants to do that puzzle, go for it. It's okay, Arachnia. Bolo Grub's going to do the puzzle. And since he knows his way around here, go ahead and clear your stacks off, guys, and then we're going to go right back down the way we came. So we're going to go down this chute. If the air jet's there, just wait for it to toggle off and jump down and go up the ramp, and then we're going to start heading south down the east side of the map. It's okay, don't worry, Arachnia. We're going to be just fine. Go ahead and go down the chute and up the ramp. And we're going to head south down the east side now. There's another rune pillar at the bottom of the ravine that Soul Mine is standing on right now. He's already got it lit up. So that opened up the puzzle just to its side right here where I am. So we need somebody to do this puzzle. Thank you, Nervgen. The rest of us can head south. Clear your stacks. Got some trash mobs up ahead. Another rune pillar to open up this gate for another puzzle. Notice that when there's two people standing on it, the lightning strikes aren't counting, and you have to step off and step back onto it. The lightning strikes, for purposes of lighting the rune pillars, are not counting when there's two people on it.
So got Nervin?
Yeah, I've got us down.
Thank you. So we've had 2 deaths, I think, so far from lightning strikes. But in a pug, you probably would have been 24 by now. But we're showing you, how you want to do this. You want to just make sure you have electrical absorption and constantly clear your stacks. We need somebody to do this puzzle here. Thank you, Anadir. And the rest of us can head south. Don't forget to run over runes to clear your stacks. No death timer on normal. Alright, we're going to go across this bridge. It's okay, Nervgen. Everybody dies in this raid. I want you to open up the map once you're on the other side of this bridge. And I want you to notice that there's like a zigzaggy thing. It just goes in a dead end. That's the Roach Motel. It's a trap. It's basically designed for you to run a long way. And it's a dead end. Then you got to run out. And by the time you run out, you've been struck by lightning so many times that you're dead. Do not go into that zone. So after the bridge, you need to make an immediate right turn and head to the west side of the map. Do not go into the Roach Motel. But we got people. There's a whole line of people going into the Roach Motel.
That's hilarious.
You guys need to go back to the south end of the bridge and then head west from there. There you go. You guys got it now. Head west from there. Follow Big Hero 6. Excellent.
I see, said the blind man.
Perfect.
What was this room again before, Ginger?
That's to open up the gate from the other side if you had gotten here somehow.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Clear your stacks. There you go, Anadir, you got it. You're heading the right direction. One more rune pillar. It needs to be lit up. When this gets lit up, there'll be an air jet here. Be careful, there's a pit of despair over here. If you come back in the corner where I am, don't fall down in this pit.
They never patched it.
Yeah, you can't get out of it. So the pit that Nervgen is on, you can't get out of it. You have to detour. Is the only way to get out of it.
Get the detour out of there.
We are showing you what not to do right now. I don't have detour. So somebody is going to have to go down there, cast a detour on yourself, and you'll probably have to jump up and get... There you go. There's a detour. Jump up and hit that. And just wait in the starting room. Okay? Once you... Nervgen, just jump up and hit the detour. It's right above you. There's two of them. There you go. Okay, so just wait in that starting room, guys, because we're going to do 2 more puzzles, and then we're all going to detour anyway, so just wait there if you're in the starting room now, as we'll be there shortly. Once you get to the top of the air jet, there's a platform up here, a couple trash mobs, and a couple more. These are the last 2 puzzles. Okay, we need 2 people. There's runes up here to clear your stacks. We need 2 people on puzzles. Notice that in the quest box in the upper right hand corner, it says reset all control point pairs. That's the pairs of puzzles. So that's why there says 1 left, because this is the final pair. Remember, don't stand directly in front of the puzzle. Then the lightning's just going to blind you. You can still toggle the puzzle from when you're standing off to the side like hand, like feet. This raid is really, really intense for first-timers. Good job, Big Hero 6. Good job, hand like feet. Alright, everybody can detour. Everybody detour. Excellent. So now we're in the starting room. And remember, this is a safe room. You got all the time in the world. There's no sense of urgency. Do not go to the dragon fight. Don't even bother buffing, because we're going to go shrine. Actually, it looks like we don't need to shrine. So, normally what we do is we would go to the shrine at this point and then come back to the dragon fight. But everybody's got a full blue bar, so I think we can skip the shrine. So we're just going to go straight into the dragon fight, but let the tank go first. And that way what he can do is he can ride up and get the dragon aggro and point the dragon away from us, so that we're not all getting like lightning breathed on when we get up there. So Bolo's going to go up first and turn the dragon away from where we come in. Notice that there's no wind anymore.
This is a boss fight where you want to turn the dragon on kind of like a 45-degree angle. That way, if he blows you off the platform, you don't get blown through one of the side doors and get blown really far away.
Yeah, if he wing buffets you and you're like, you know, he wing buffets you due north, northeast or west, he can blow you right out the door out of the arena. And he can send you a long ways. So go ahead and ride the air jets up to the top of the platform.
Yep, just got blown off.
Our tank just got blown off. Everybody ride the air jets up to the main platform. I just got blown off too. Got some air elemental trash to deal with. When the dragon does the big yellow runes over its head, over its body, everybody needs to get under its butt. Because it's going to do an AoE electrical attack. So we're going to call out yellow. And that means get under, seek shelter under the dragon's butt. Then when it does the other runes, and you hear like water dripping sounds, that's going to summon trash. If you're not the tank, you should be behind the dragon. Notice that the dragon does one of its breath attacks in a 270-degree arc. And so if you're anywhere to the side or front, you're going to get hit by that attack. So you want to be behind the dragon if you're not the tank. Trash.
The dragon will sometimes turn. So
What's up, Soul?
Bother with the trash?
What'd you say, Soul?
We bother with the trash below?
Okay, so
I don't think so.
yellow, get under the dragon. Seek shelter under the dragon. So here we're beating the dragon down so fast that we don't need to worry about the trash below. But I do want you to be aware that there is going to be trash that spawns below. And if people get blown off and aggro that trash, remember when you aggro trash mobs, it does lightning strikes. And if you aggro the trash mobs down below and you come back up, you're gonna bring those lightning strikes up here. So sometimes what we've done in the past is like we gather them up and just take them out of the side of the arena and D-door and just leave them there. Or, you know, if you're beating the dragon down so fast, and you won't even have to worry about those trash mobs down below. But be aware there's going to be giant skeletons down below. That is riding the storm out. If anybody has any questions, let me know. And congrats on your first completion. We only had a couple deaths. That was really good, guys. Good luck on your loot. Do stone boots help here? That's a good question. Stone shoes. Anti-Chap's asking if stone shoes would help you prevent you from getting blown off the platform, and I don't know if that helps against Dragon Wing Buffet or against air elementals.